Kicking off our countdown list at number 10 is Loughlin. The actress and mom was caught in a huge lie that had both her and her husband behind bars. Back in 2019, news broke that she had been caught in a college admission scandal that involved her two daughters, $500,000, and forged test scores. All of these lies were told to try to get her daughter's early admissions into a very competitive school. She and her daughter even faked rowing pictures to try to make her profile better, even though she is not a rower. Like, at all. The truth all came out and the entire family took the heat for these lies. Lori was given 2 months in prison and a $150,000 fine, 2 years of supervised release, and 100 hours of community service. Her husband received 5 months in jail, and her one daughter Olivia Jade, who's in the spotlight, faced a ton of backlash online and was dropped by a lot of her brand partnerships. Up next, number 9 is Bill Clinton. It was one phrase that he lied about constantly, and it was that lie that launched one of the biggest scandals in political history. The phrase being, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." It was his denial about having an affair on his wife Hillary Clinton with a White House intern named Monica Lewinsky. However, the truth came out and involved secret tapes and an ongoing sexual relationship between the two of them. It was his actions and his lie that led to his impeachment in 1998 for lying under oath. Bill and Hillary, who stayed together despite the affair, recently opened up about the scandal in a 2020 Netflix documentary called Hillary. In the documentary, he said the affair was a way of managing his anxieties, and the reason he lied was because of the risk. He admitted that he knew it was bad for his family, bad for the country, and bad for people who worked with him during that time. Some of them knew, y'all. Some of them knew, and they were too scared to tell anyone because they would lose their job. Would you tell? No. That's the President of the United States. I ain't telling shit if I work in the White House. Cruising in number 8, we have Paris Hilton. She has been in a few controversies throughout her career, but one of them led to her arrest. And it just so happened to be the one where she was caught in a bunch of lies. The lie came when she did an interview with Larry King and told him that she had never done illegal substances. She told him she took Adderall and explained that she has ADD and has to take it. However, that seemed to be a lie because in 2010 she was arrested in Las Vegas for having illegal substances in her possession. She was found in a car with her boyfriend at the time when officers saw smoke wafting from the car. They decided to investigate what was going on and they found more than they were expecting. She ended up pleading guilty to substance possession and obstructing an officer. She did not receive prison time, if you remember the story, but she did walk away with a hefty probation, community service hours, and a fine. Moving on to number 7, we have Kim Kardashian. She has been called out on numerous occasions for photoshopping her pictures, but it seems she took things a little too far in her latest Skims campaign. She released her ad for her shapewear brand Skims, and Kim can be seen drawing a finger over her hips and down into the dip of her waist. But as her finger trails down, it distorts and squiggles across the curve of her body. Immediately, people started calling her out, saying that there was a huge Photoshop fail and that it was very obvious, and questioned how she's selling a shapewear brand if she's going to sell it by photoshopping her body. Kim personally avoided the whole scandal like the plague, but her team removed the ad campaign and released a statement saying it was, I quote, "an error as a result of the video losing its quality during the uploading process." No one bought that excuse, which was a straight up lie, because I work in film and I've had videos edited and I've edited videos and I've exported them, and that does not happen, even in the quality of the processing. Come on now. It didn't glitch anywhere else, just when she did it on her waist, y'all. Cruising into number 6, we have Lance Armstrong. The wildly successful athlete was caught in the most sophisticated and successful doping program the sport has ever seen, according to the US Anti-Doping Agency. People were shocked when the news first broke, but he later admitted it during his interview with Oprah that he in fact had been taking substances. But there was much more to it than just him taking them. He was involved in a professional doping program. He was stripped from his cycling titles and dropped by all of his sponsors, including Nike Inc. and Livestrong Armstrong, and he was also banned from professional cycling races altogether. He ended up reaching a $5 million settlement with the government, but his career has never been the same since. In 2020 though, fans got to learn a lot more about the situation when a documentary called Lance came out, so if you're wanting to learn more on his career, the scandal, everything, go check that out. I've been intrigued. I have not, because I'm busy, but I have been interested. Halfway through our countdown at number 5, we have Kylie Jenner. Back in 2017, people were going crazy online about the rumors that Kylie was pregnant. Fans started speculating online and doing a deep dive on all her posts trying to prove that she was pregnant. Even paparazzi were doing all they could to get a photo that proved it, but she and her family kept denying it in all of their interviews. After she finally revealed the truth to the world, she explained that she lied about it because this was the one thing she wanted to not share with the world. Even her producers who filmed Keeping Up with the Kardashians with her said she hid it from them during filming her Life of Kylie season. But Kylie recently announced she is pregnant with her second child, and she is sharing this pregnancy with the world this time. You can't hide anything from fans. Or paparazzi. They always find out. In spot number 4, we have Brian Williams. The journalist, who is the father to actress Allison Williams, repeatedly told a story that claimed while he was on a reporting trip to Iraq in 2003, he was riding in a helicopter that came under fire and had to do an emergency landing. The story was believed every time he told it, until soldiers who were actually in the helicopter he was referring to came forward and told the truth. They revealed that Brian was not actually in the helicopter with them and said that he and his crew had actually arrived on scene about an hour after the helicopter performed its landing, which is obviously a very different story than the one that he was telling people. After being caught in the lie, he immediately apologized and claimed that he must have made a mistake and gotten his memories of the day mixed up. How do you? Come on. Oh, I just thought I remembered I was on this plane that went into flames. Like, give me a break, people. Taking the third spot on this list is Tiger Woods. Seeing Woods in controversial headlines is nothing new, but this lie was one of the biggest. During a golf tournament, Tiger Woods apparently had a disagreement with his opponent, Sergio Garcia. Later on in the match, Tiger Woods interacted with the course marshals, with the marshals giving Woods permission to swing, even though his opponent was supposed to be going first. This led to the distracting crowd impairing Sergio's game because of the noise that Woods sparked, though when the course marshals were asked about the incident and why it happened, they did not recall giving Woods permission to continue. This miscommunication led Tiger Woods to win the series, leaving a forever standing feud between the two players, as Sergio felt like he was at the major disadvantage due to Tiger's actions, which he kinda was. In recent interviews, Tiger Woods has actually admitted in multiple interviews about his deceptive behaviors, and even stated that he was living a lie and that he did this because he found it fun. Cruising through to number 2, we have the infamous Kanye West phone call to Taylor Swift. This crazy story starts with Kanye purposely leaking video and audio footage of the conversation that he had with Taylor over the phone. The leaked footage made it seem like Taylor gave full permission for Kanye to use the line, I quote, "I made that boop famous" in one of his new singles. But in reality, Kanye never actually read that line to Taylor, and he put the explicit lyric in his song without her consent. After Kanye leaked the edited conversation to the public, many people were quick to send Taylor Swift an absurd amount of hate, claiming that she was in the wrong because in the audio Kanye leaked, she was clearly fine with being mentioned in the song that way. Though nearly 4 years later, the truth would come out with the full unedited conversation being actually leaked, with this version showing the full story and how Taylor never actually gave permission to Kanye. And during their phone call, Taylor clearly felt uncomfortable when asked if it was okay if she would be mentioned in the song, but Kanye did not seem to care as he proceeded to make jokes about it. With the shocking news that Taylor was wrongfully accused this whole time and undeservingly given hate by millions of people on social media, many felt instant sympathy for her. I did, but I never believed Kanye anyway. And last but not least, taking our number 1 spot, we have the Tonya Harding incident. Tonya was a very successful competitive figure skater that was praised for her dedication and outstanding skills in figure skating. After being the best in her craft, she began to be challenged by Nancy Kerrigan. Nancy was a figure skater that had a long-standing rivalry with Harding, and it ended up being that Nancy was the one person in the way of Tonya making her way to the Olympic team. Tonya's greed for success led her to scheme against Nancy to hire a hitman to intimidate her with a club. The hitman acted accordingly and promptly hit Nancy on her knee, leaving Nancy injured and unable to compete. With a full investigation going on about the attack, the team behind the attack would confess in the planning behind it, though Tonya insisted to not be involved. Later on, Tonya and Nancy would compete against each other, and with Tonya being on the bad side of the karma, she ended up coming in 8th, while Nancy took 2nd place. In due course, after the competition, the evidence mounted against Tonya continued to grow, and she eventually pleaded guilty to the attack. Everyone was waiting for that, leaving her with her figure skating titles taken away from her, and she was banned from the USFSA forever. Y'all, this documentary or movie or whatever is actually really interesting. You should go watch it. It's a cool story.
Kicking things off at number 10, Hilary Duff. Former Disney star Hilary Duff is known to have lied about her age. Unlike many other celebs though, she didn't lie about her age to book a role. Hilary actually lied in order to get into clubs when she was younger. She revealed that when she was younger she used her sister Haley's ID to get into clubs, though she was always recognized. I don't think people actually believed her lies when she was trying to get into clubs when she was underage. People probably just knew that she was famous and they let her in just to make themselves look better. Ironically, she's been on a show called Younger, and the series is literally about lying about your age. Talk about coincidence. I guess all that time faking her age really paid off in the long run. At number 9, Eminem. Rapper Eminem is caught lying about his age during a Howard Stern interview back in 1999. This was at the start of his career, so maybe he just wanted to start things off by having people think he's younger than he really is. In the interview, the rapper told Stern that he was 24, but later on people realized that he was born in 72, and at the time of the interview he would have been 27. Some people thought that maybe he just forgot how old he was for real, but we may never know. Also, side note, I didn't know Eminem was that old. I've been here thinking he was like in his 30s for the longest time, but turns out he's almost 50. I'm honestly shocked. In at 8, Jennifer Lopez. Up next, we're talking about Jenny from the Block. J-Lo was caught lying about her age back in 1999. A lot of this stuff happens in 99. For a while, she had been telling people that she was born in 1970 and that she was 29 at the time. But following a nightclub shooting in 99, she and P. Diddy, her boyfriend at the time, were brought in for questioning, and that's when the truth came out about her age. When police ran her through the system, they noticed that her information didn't quite match up, and so she had to come clean and reveal that she's actually a year older than she claimed she was, and that she was born in 1969 and was actually 30 years old at the time of the incident. Now, don't get me wrong, J-Lo is still looking fuego, but why did she feel the need to shave off a year? Just 1 year doesn't really make much difference, but I guess she just wanted to live her 20s one last time.
Sniping the number 7 spot is Flo Rida. Back in 2014, he was facing a huge scandal in his career when his former assistant came forward claiming that he had underpaid her. A woman named Mahogany Miller sued him in 2012, claiming that he worked her to her bone for chump change and then fired her when she complained about the low wages. The lawsuit dragged on for more than 2 years, with the rapper claiming his innocence, lying and saying that her claims were not true. But apparently that was all just one big lie, and she had some evidence to back it up when it came to fighting this in court. She was his administrative assistant and said she worked 65 hours a week while being paid less than the minimum wage. Is that even legal? In 2014, he agreed to settle it and pay her just under $9,000 and then another $10,000 to her attorneys. Rolling into number 6, we have Steve Ranazizi. The comedian made one of the worst decisions in his career when he decided to lie about escaping the 9/11 attacks. The worst part was he kept up this charade for years until he got exposed. During interviews, he would often speak about how he followed his dream of being a comedian due to the terrifying events of that day. In 2009, he claimed he had been working for Merrill Lynch on the 54th floor of the South Tower when the first plane hit. He spoke in detail about what happened in that moment and everything that he remembered from that day. However, in 2015, evidence surfaced and proved that his story was a lie. There was no record of him ever working in the World Trade Center, and on that day, there was evidence that he was actually in Midtown. The comedian came forward admitting that he lied about the whole thing and said, "I was not at the Trade Center on that day. I don't know why I said this. This was inexcusable. I am truly, truly sorry. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say. I don't know how you lie about something like that. And why. Anyways, I'll go on a rant. Taking the halfway point at number 5 is the writer James Frey. A report showed that James was caught lying to Oprah and to the readers of his memoir. James was caught lying about many events that were shared in his book. A book that was initially praised for its work on love, loss and addiction, all while being featured for a top pick on Oprah's book club. Though shortly afterwards the public would later find out that James Frey made the entire thing up, leading for James's career to immediately take a turn for the worse as his agency dropped him and his publisher filed a class action lawsuit against him. Later, James was confronted by Oprah about his dishonesty, with Oprah confessing that she finds it difficult to even talk to him in the interview as she doesn't know what's the truth and what is false. Not to mention the millions of readers that were deceived by his untruthful writing. Moving on to number 4, we have Bow Wow. The American rapper was caught being dishonest when he posted an Instagram picture flexing his private jet and luxury lifestyle. But Bow Wow was spotted by a fellow passenger on a commercial flight in economy class. From connecting the dots, fans were able to trace down the original photo posted on Instagram of the private jet to the stock photo that a fan took on Snapchat and exposed him. After being called out for this, Bow Wow couldn't live it down and was mocked on social media, with the hashtag Bow Wow challenge trending all over Twitter afterwards, of people essentially posting side-by-side images, with the first one being seemingly glamorous and the second image showing the harsh reality. Now, there is nothing wrong with flying economy class, but like, why'd you feel the need to lie, man? Like, did you really think no one would see you on that flight?
In at number 2, Nelly. Rapper Nelly really bamboozled a lot of people when the truth came out about his age. Back in 2003, Nelly was included in Teen People's list of the hottest stars under 25. Obviously, to be eligible for this list, you have to be under the age of 25. That's kind of a given. So Nelly and his representatives told the publication that Nelly was 22 at the time, and so he was accepted and put on the list. Later on, it was discovered that he lied about his age to get into the publication, but this was not a little lie. Oh no. Instead of being 22 like he said, he was actually 28. That's a big jump. If you're gonna lie about your age on that list, I'd understand if you were like, oh, I'm 24, but you're actually 25. Like, that's not a big deal. But to go from like, oh, I graduated high school 4 years ago to I'm almost 30 is a big ol' stretch. Finally, in at number 1, Mila Kunis. Mila Kunis has been known to lie about her age from time to time, but one instance when she lied about her age where it actually paid off was back when she auditioned for That 70s Show. When she auditioned, the producers asked her age, and she told them that she was going to turn 18. What they didn't know was that she was actually 14 at the time. That's a pretty big age gap when you think about the fact that she was claiming to be almost a legal adult when she was actually an 8th grader. Mila's argument for justifying her lie was that she was turning 18, but she never said when. She would eventually turn 18, but that was just gonna be a little bit longer than they assumed. I mean, she's not wrong, but still. Obviously, this lie worked out in her favor as she booked the role, but man, it's a good thing she didn't get in much trouble for this.
Okay. At number 9, we have Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown has finally decided to respond to the backlash she received after posting a video that showed her faking her skincare routine. After a video was posted on Millie's page back in 2019 of her demonstrating how she uses her vegan skincare line for teenage girls, Florence by Mills, comments immediately began to criticize the actor for pretending to use products such as her face mist, scrub, wash, and moisturizer. Fans were quick to call out the star for not using any of her products on her face, and some even noted she was still wearing makeup at the end of the video. Millie would later delete the video and would replace it with a note behind the process of her decision. Millie would go on to say, "I'm still learning the best way to share my routines as I get to know this space better. I thought doing a quick video of my replication of my personal process for the night was okay, but that's not how it was conveyed. However, if you hadn't had a chance to try her products yet, run out and grab some because it's pretty affordable and amazing." Hey Peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. At number 8, we have Amber Heard. Okay, so Amber Heard never lied about using her own brand for promotion. However, she is still worth mentioning because she tried to lie about using Milani Cosmetics to win a court case. And Milani even called her out for her lies. During Johnny's and Amber's trial, Amber would claim that she would use Milani Cosmetics Cosmetics all-in-one correcting kit to cover up bruises. The only problem with her claims is that Milani's all-in-one correcting kit didn't launch until 2017. Milani would even post a TikTok video that the product wasn't even available before 2017 and highlighted that the actress was using it from 2012 to 2016. Now, Amber's attorney did not specifically name Milani Cosmetics in court, however they did hold up the kit and said Amber carried this exact one every day.
Coming in at number 7, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg is known for acting in productions like The Color Purple, Sister Act, and Star Trek Next Gen. She's played some pretty iconic roles, but did you know that she actually lied about her age to get a lot of these roles? Unlike many other stars who say that they're younger than they truly are to get ahead in the industry, Whoopi actually claimed to be 6 years older than she really was. Whoopi has said that she needed to pretend to be closer to her 40s in order to get a role. This lie started back in 1986 when the actress was 30, but told producers that she was 6 years older in order to book a job, so she claimed to have been born in 1949. This is not very common to see a celebrity say that they're older, since most of them want to preserve their youth in the media, but Whoopi did it to secure her bag, so props to you, Whoopi. In at 6, Jay-Z. There's been some confusion surrounding Jay-Z's age. On a radio talk show, host Troy Turan claimed that he and Jay-Z were actually the same age and were both 50. He went on to say that the idea that he was in his mid-40s was made up and that his real age was 50. A lot of people bought into that and just assumed that Jay-Z was lying and that he just wanted to seem younger than he really was. But then records came out showing that Jay-Z was in fact born in 1969, making him 44 years old when the speculation came about. But I think that he's still lying about his age. I think he's much older than that, since he's a high-ranking member of the Illuminati. This guy is for sure immortal, and maybe his records say that he was born in 1969, but really, he could have been born in 1769, and he's been alive ever since. Halfway through at number 5, Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg is one of the most coveted directors in Hollywood, and his origin story, if you will, is one of the most unbelievable tales. Basically, the story goes that he was 21 and he snuck into the Universal Studios lot, found a vacant studio, and basically became a squatter there. He pretended to work there for months until he got caught, but then his film career took off from there. But there seems to be some discrepancies with his story, mostly concerning his age in that tale. Though he recounts that this happened in 1969 when he was 21, it turns out that if his birth date is correct and he was actually born in 1946, this means that he was actually 22 or 23 at the time. But on the other hand, he's also said that his time of sneaking into the Universal lot took place in 1965, and that means that he was 17 at the time, which really means that he was 18 or 19. Basically, the bottom line here is no one knows what happened and at what time and how old he was then. I think he's stuck in a time loop, honestly. There's just too many dates and times to keep track of. At 4, Nicki Minaj. Rapper Nicki Minaj is another celeb who's lied about how old she really is. For a long time, she had us believing that she was born in 1984, but turns out she's actually 2 years older and was actually born in 1982. Her age discovery actually happened in a similar way to J-Lo. Nicki was arrested in 2011, but when she was brought in by police and had to record the incident at hand, it was then that her real age was revealed, showing that she was 2 years older than she said she was. I think she lied about being younger to appeal to her demographic, since her music and her image was so colorful and upbeat. Her career was still fairly new, so marketing herself to the right audience was still important. But still, only 2 years? 2 years really isn't that much of a difference.
At number 3, we have Shay Mitchell. Shay Mitchell was slammed by her fans for making a makeup remover ad. In an obviously staged Snapchat video, the actress and Biore ambassador posted a video to promote the beauty brand's makeup remover. In the video, Shay would begin the clip by pouring the liquid onto a cotton round while saying, "I have obviously tried my fair share of makeup removers, but these are by far my favorite." She would then attempt to demonstrate the product's ability to remove waterproof makeup by swiping the pad across her own eyes. However, when she proudly showed off the cotton round afterwards, her eyeshadow and mascara were perfectly intact. One user would even call out Shay by saying, "She ain't even rubbed her eye, I'm crying," and another would say, "Why is she reviewing a skincare product with a Snapchat filter on?" At number 2, we have Elizabeth Holmes. When the CEO of Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, lied about her blood testing machine's ability to run thousands of tests with just a single drop, a journalist would later expose Elizabeth's lie in a scathing article on her company. Before it all came crashing down, Elizabeth had won the trust of corporations such as Walgreens and World leaders. Elizabeth's company's products technology simply didn't do what the company repeatedly told investors, clients, in the media. While Elizabeth and her team said the machine could run over 200 tests, it was actually only able to run about a dozen, and they were actually using equipment that was already available on the market. Yet Elizabeth would hide this fact from investors, and she would claim that the company used their own equipment. They would then go on to fake demonstrations to strike major deals with companies such as Walgreens, and they also faked demonstrations with investors and gave misleading information about the product's clinical trials.
Starting this list off at number 10 is Brandy. We have seen celebrities fake relationships in the past as a publicity stunt, but this one was one that just went too far. The singer and actress announced back in 2002 that she had gotten secretly married to a music producer, Robert Smith. She said they had a private wedding and kept it small. The relationship went on to be featured in Diary Presents Brandy Special Delivery, which documented the birth of their daughter. Everything seemed to be genuine and normal, but in 2004 the truth came out and it was revealed that the two of them had split. Brandy went on the Oprah show and revealed that they had never actually been married in the first place and said that they lied. She was 6 months pregnant when she had gotten married, and she only lied about it because she didn't want people to judge her for having a child without being married. She ended up using her Oprah interview to issue a public apology. Is that forgivable? I mean, I don't care. What difference does it make? But I guess in the special, the show she had, it was all about their marriage and like baby, and it's like, you're not even married. Up next, number 9 is Jussie Smollett. His big lie was one of the biggest scandals in Hollywood in 2019, and it is still ongoing. Back in January of 2019, news articles started flooding with headlines that Jussie was involved in a hate crime after being attacked by 2 men. The reports claim that he was attacked with a rope around his neck and that they poured chemicals on him while yelling homophobic slurs. The 2 suspects were arrested, but in court they revealed that it was all set up by Jussie and showed a check that he had paid them to stage the entire thing. On February 21st, he was arrested on suspicion of filing a false police report and was charged with 6 counts of lying to police, all of which he pleaded not guilty to. But prosecutors ended up dropping all the charges. However, the Chicago police argued that he got away with it because of his celebrity status, so an investigation was opened and he is now set to head to trial. As of right now, at the time of this recording, reports say his lawyers have been given an additional 2 weeks to prepare their arguments. The tea. Swiping the number 8 spot is the White Stripes. Jack and Meg White were adored as band members in the famous rock band, but people thought they were siblings because that's what they told everyone. Turns out that is not true at all, and they were actually once married. A marriage license surfaced online revealing that they were married from 1996 to 2000. At first, the 2 of them denied the license was real and kept the whole sibling story, but then it was revealed to be real. Seems like a strange thing to lie about, in my opinion, right? Apparently the reason they lied is because they didn't think they would be taken seriously as musicians if they were a couple in the band, so they just told people that they were siblings and stuck to it. But how awkward would that have been if someone caught a picture or something of them kissing or holding hands or something? I don't know, I felt like that's so risky.
At number 7, we have Addison Rae. Addison Rae was accused of trying to scam fans after launching a face mist that protects skin from blue light damage. Just months after another influencer had to cancel a similar product due to backlash. Addison Rae would then release her own version and would say that her product was designed to guard and relieve the skin from blue light that comes from cell phones, computers, and TVs. Many were quick to say that Addison's product is a scam because there is still very limited evidence to prove that blue light is even harmful to skin in the first place. Most health concerns regarding overexposure to blue light relates to eye strain and vision problems, not skin. So the TikTok star should have opted to create her own line of blue light glasses rather than a product to scam her fans into thinking blue light actually damages our skin. And number 6, Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez was smart when she created her makeup line, but she failed to mention that you physically can't use her products with other products. So unless you're going to buy her whole line of eyeshadows, foundations, concealers, blush, bronzer, you won't be able to do a full face because everything is going to fall right off your face due to her formula. Since Selena Gomez's line, Rare Beauty, is a water-based formula, unless you're using a similar water-based formula, you're definitely going to have some problems getting your makeup to stay stay all day with a flawless appearance. So with her claiming that her product really holds up and stays all day, the statement's only partially true, because in order for it to hold up all day, you have to purchase the whole line, and that's a hefty amount of money to splurge on all at once. However, with Rare Beauty using their resources to support mental health and bring mental health services to an educational setting, it's a brand we seriously can't help but support, as the products do what they claim and their impact is truly beautiful. At number 5, Rihanna. Rihanna's line, Savage X Fenty, has drawn in millions in investment funding because it has been lauded for its inclusive sizing and diverse marketing. However, Rihanna's company deceptively promotes discounts and prices that are only available to consumers who are part of the company's membership program, without clearly disclosing the fact when marketing the discount. When consumers flock to the site for the deals, they are automatically enrolled by the company into an extra VIP membership. And the company doesn't clearly disclose the terms and conditions, like needing to take affirmative action every month to avoid reoccurring charges. And some of these items listed on the site are already defaulted to VIP pricing, and they don't give an option to purchase it at a regular price. So if you add one of these to your baskets, you're automatically being added to Savage X monthly membership plan. And the only way of knowing the membership will result in more charges is by clicking the small Learn More button, which will let you know you will be charged a minimum of $49.95 a month. So always read the small print.
Taking over the third spot is Ed Sheeran. Now, this one isn't as serious as the last one, but it is very funny. Back in 2016, he was sporting a new look that involved a cut on his face. When asked what had happened, he claimed it happened at a party with James Blunt and Princess Beatrice. Apparently, James jokingly asked Beatrice to knight him, and when she grabbed the ceremonial sword, she accidentally cut his face in the process. It seemed like a very random and strange story, but people believed it because, hey, weird stuff happens at parties all the time, especially when there's alcohol involved. But a year later, James spilled the beans about what really went down and admitted that the whole story that Ed told was a lie. Turns out Ed was just drunk and he was messing around and accidentally cut himself. He said that they thought it'd be really funny to make up this crazy fancy story, and then when people actually fell for it, they just stuck to it. And if you're wondering, Princess Beatrice had nothing to do with it, she was just randomly thrown into that story. Sniping number 2 spot is Rebel Wilson. While I'm sure a lot of people would like to lie about their age, I know I would, you can't really do that when working in the acting industry. In 2015, an Australian magazine called Women's Day published an article that called out Rebel for apparently lying about her age, name, and certain claims about her upbringing. Her initial age was believed to be 29 years old at the time, but the magazine revealed she was actually 35. Also, her birth name is Melanie Elizabeth Bounce, and she apparently did not have the upbringing that she has talked about in interviews. Now, Rebel never admitted to lying, she actually did the opposite. She filed a lawsuit against various publications because many media outlets also claimed that her real age was 35. She never fought against the claims being true or not, but she said that painting her as a liar had affected her career and ability to land roles. Earning our number 1 place is Martha Stewart. I'm sure we were all equally as shocked when news broke in December 2001 that she was allegedly involved in an insider trading scandal. Insider trading is where an individual buys or sells stocks that they have in a company using information that is not available to the public. That is what Google told me anyways. Don't quote me. An investigation was launched after she had denied being involved in anything, but it turns out that she was lying. She repeatedly denied doing any wrongdoing, claiming that she had an agreement with her broker to sell the shares if they went below a certain price, but that was proved to not be true. Martha ended up getting charged with security fraud, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy. She was sentenced to 5 months in jail and 5 months of house arrest after that, and 2 years probation, and later had to pay $195,000 to settle a civil case with the Security and Exchange Commission.